And China will be sending its special envoy to the Middle East for mediation. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has issued a statement on Iran. They are saying that China has intensively engaged in mediation efforts. So it is China which is emerging as the mediator in this entire conflict of West Asia. China now saying that they will be sending a mediator to West Asia for mediation. So who has asked China to mediate is the big question. Is the request coming in from Iran? Because Iran is being supported by China and Russia, two countries which are now allies of Iran in this war. And as the axis of resistance is being seen here, there is also an axis of coalition, which is of those nations which are being targeted by Iran. So now China is saying that it will be sending a special envoy to West Asia for mediation. Has China been requested by a third party for mediation? Who has asked China to come into this picture is the big question. Chinese Foreign Ministry saying that it has intensively engaged in mediation efforts. So finally, some sign of off-ramp happening now as we look at day 6 of this conflict, where the theater of this war has expanded. As we have seen, multiple countries are now being in entire West Asia are being included in this as Iran targets multiple assets of US throughout the GCC countries. Now China has intensively engaged in mediation efforts is what the details are. Remember, Israel has struck Hezbollah positions in Lebanon, including Beirut suburbs, as Hezbollah has joined the fight in revenge for Iranian losses. Lebanon's government has banned Hezbollah's military operations and has ordered surrender of weapons to the Lebanese armed forces. Iran has fired missiles and drones at US allies, including Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and has targeted US embassy in Riyadh, which has been hit. In the last 6 days, we have seen 3 US embassies in various parts of West Asia being closed. Now it seems that it is China which will be playing the role of the mediator. Even as we wait for a reporter to join us, let's listen in to what Alipov, who is the Russian ambassador to India, told Geeta Mohan some time back, clearly saying that this is a war which is illegal, something which was almost was forced upon Iran because it happened right in the middle of negotiations.
Let's begin with the fact that the region is in turmoil. You're here to express solidarity. Your first words.
Yes, indeed. We are in full solidarity with the Iranian people, with the government of Iran. I have expressed sincere condolences on behalf of the Russian embassy and the Russian government here at the Iranian embassy in New Delhi. The Russian president has expressed his sympathies towards the people and the government of Iran. The attacks by the US and Israel have been an outrageous violation of the norms of morality and the norms of international coexistence, the international law, and are unacceptable. We have called on them to stop the attacks immediately and return to the diplomatic table and the negotiations.
Before you go, just final word. The fact that America is saying that they're going to stay as long as it takes, and the kind of bombing, carpet bombing we're seeing on Iran, it doesn't seem like the Iranian administration can, maybe after a few days, handle it on their own. What are countries like Russia, China, allies, friends, looking at doing in such a scenario?
We're looking forward to a peaceful resolution of contradictions that there are between Iran and Israel and the US. The negotiations were proceeding. And as things turned out, simultaneously, the US and Israel were preparing attacks. We've been in contact with the Iranian side, and we are hopeful that the attacks stop at the earliest and the negotiations resume.
And finally, has India now sought more oil from Russia because of the Strait of Hormuz, Bab el-Mandeb, the strains that we are seeing? Is Russia now going to be the main oil provider in this conflict?
This is up to India to decide. You know, we have always maintained that we have always been ready to offer oil supplies to India, provided India needs those supplies. That's the decision the Indian government should take.
China is now positioning itself as the mediator in the conflicts because of the geopolitical tensions and this entire crisis in West Asia. Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that it is intensively engaged in mediation efforts, and that a special envoy will be traveling to West Asia for mediation. The question is, who has authorized China for this mediation talks, and is China acting on behalf of Iran? And are there efforts by other countries in West Asia to look for a possible solution? Pranay is joining me on the phone line. Pranay, who has asked China for it to take initiative in this mediation?
I'm sure the Iranians must have contacted the Chinese, and in fact, Chinese suo motu can also take these kind of initiatives because they have sizable influence and investment in China. They, in fact, they are the strategic partner of Iran, and in fact, they have signed the strategic partnership in 2021. And also, Chinese have substantial investment in the Gulf region, in the Arab region, and in fact, globally as well. China is the second biggest economy, and they have sizable influence, and therefore they have offered this kind of mediation, and they are sending their special envoy to the Gulf nation to lobby and to garner support for immediate cessation of these operation by the United States, and in fact to mediate a process. But the larger question remains, Maria, that will United States come on table to have discussion and dialogue with Iran? And especially, it's a joint operation. US is not the only party in this operation. In fact, Israel is also there. And in fact, will they together agree that, the Iranian regime should be left, at this juncture, that, they should stop this operation? So I do not see a possibility in it, but definitely China, Russia, and many other partners as well, they think that, this is the time when there should be a dialogue, there should be a mediation, because otherwise this continuous bombing of Iran will eventually result into large number of casualties. Already the mark has already crossed the figure of 1,000 in Iran, and also there is a threat, there is a danger that if this operation fails, which many analysts think that Iran is not an easy territory for US to bombard and even install, because at the time when they are talking about arming the Kurd rebels and asking the other sections of society of Iran to stand up, this can result into a civil war in Iran, which may result into a large number of casualties and also instability in the entire region, because the Central Asian region has its borders with Iran. In fact, China has a rail link up to Iran. So therefore, they have large number of that BRI initiatives in Iran, and therefore Chinese have their own interests as well as it's their initiative.
If China has made this effort suo motu, Pranay, then what leverage can China necessarily have over the aggressor here, which is the US-Israel combined?
If this is a larger question, that whether Chinese would want to use that leverage, because they are already entangled with the United States in a tough war, in a trade war, and in fact they have an influence in terms of because they have a $500 billion trade with the United States. Whether they want to use that leverage or not, we can't say for sure. But certainly, Chinese have a significant and a sizable influence, and they have their voice. And in fact, ultimately, someone has to mediate the process and to initiate. And if you have seen the statement put out by the Chinese foreign minister after having this conversation with the Iranian counterpart, Sayyid Abbas Araghchi, Mr. Wang Yi has put out a statement that China supports Iran's legitimate right and its interest, and also China will support Iran to defend its territorial integrity, its sovereignty. So if you see the semantics, if the wordings of the statement put out by the Chinese Foreign Ministry, this clearly shows that China has already come out in open. They have extended their support to Iran, and we have to see that what kind of support they can actually lend in, because currently what Iran needs is a robust, strong air defense system, which nobody has come forward to offer that air defense or air support to Iranians.
All right. Pranay, really appreciate your time. So Chinese special envoy will be traveling to West Asia, and China has now offered to mediate in this entire crisis as the war in West Asia escalates and intensifies with every passing hour.